42 years ago today, the Supreme Court announced its creation of a right to abortion for virtually any reason at all, virtually at any time. The result of that decision is a tragedy for our society, for our culture, and for our precious life lost. Since even before America's founding, the law was on a steady march toward protecting the human beings before birth. Through the 19th century, medical professionals and civil rights activists led a movement that succeeded in prohibiting abortion in every state except to save the mother's life. America had reached a consensus on the importance of protecting the most vulnerable. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court swept all of that aside, imposing upon the country a permissive abortion regime that the American people to this day have never chosen or accepted. The debate over the morality, legality, or policy of abortion begins with one inescapable fact. Every abortion kills a living human being. Many have tried mightily to avoid obscure, distract from, or ignore that fact, but it will not go away. Every abortion kills a living human being. That fact informed President Ronald Reagan when he wrote a moving essay titled "Abortion and the Conscience of the Nation" in 1983. He wrote, quote, "We cannot diminish the value of one category of human life, the unborn, without diminishing the value of all human life," unquote. The real question, Mr. President, Reagan said, is not about when human life begins, but about the value of human life. I believe that remains the real question today. Today, the United States is one of only 7 nations in the world to allow abortion into the 6th month of pregnancy and beyond. That list of nations includes such champions of human rights as China and North Korea. Yet the United States in 1948 voted in favor of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which recognizes in its preamble the inherent dignity and inalienable rights of, quote, all members of the human family, unquote. Article 3 of the Declaration states that, quote, everyone has a right to life, unquote. Words such as universal and inherent and all are unambiguous and clear. Our embrace of the inherent dignity and worth of all human beings in 1948 stands in jarring contrast to the Supreme Court's decision in Roe just 25 years later that the life of any human being may be ended before birth. The Supreme Court might have thought in 1973 that it was settling the abortion issue. By 1992, however, the court conceded that the rules it created in Roe simply did not work and issued revised regulations in a case titled Planned Parenthood v. Casey. The court said then that the contending sides in the abortion controversy should, quote, end their national division by accepting a common mandate rooted in the Constitution, unquote. National division on any issue, let alone one so profound as the taking in the value of human life, will not end simply because the court says so. The division over abortion not only continues, but has remained largely unchanged, even after dozens of Supreme Court decisions and 4 decades of insisting that abortion is a constitutional right. The Supreme Court can render opinions on constitutionality, but it is limited in its ability to forge lasting consensus. That is the provenance of our great deliberative bodies where the people are truly represented. More than 70% of Americans believe that abortion should be illegal in most or all circumstances. That figure has not changed in 40 years. What has changed is that more Americans today identify themselves as pro-life than pro-choice. Large majorities favor a range of limitations on abortion, and last November elected scores of new pro-life legislators at both the state and the federal level. Mr. President, we must not avoid the fundamental question of the value of human life, for no question is more important. Do we still, as we once did, believe that every human being has inherent dignity and worth? 2 nights ago, in his State of the Union address, President Obama spoke about the values that are at stake in the public policy choices we must make. Is there any value more important than life itself? He spoke about expanding opportunities for individuals, but the first opportunity that must be secured is the opportunity for life itself. For many, the right to abortion is a symbol of progress. However, the idea that an act resulting in killing a living human being should be held up as a step forward, as a light to guide our way, strikes me as deeply misguided. We should instead be deepening the conviction that all human beings have inherent dignity and worth. That has been and should remain the foundation of our culture, of our society, and even our politics. In his 1983 essay, President Reagan wrote that, quote, "We cannot survive as a free nation when some men decide that others are not fit to live and should be abandoned to abortion," unquote. Today's tragic anniversary is a reminder of how our nation's survival depends on respecting the essential dignity and worth of every human individual. Resting in the balance is how we ultimately define who we are as a people and what we strive to be as a nation. This is an important issue. It's not one that just should be slided over. It's an issue that should strike in the heart of every person in this body. It's an issue that we all should stand up to strengthen and to fight against in the case of this issue of abortion. I'm so grateful that so many people feel the same way, and that more and more the people in this country are starting to realize that every human life is important, and that this society has sometimes gotten off track and not respected the rights of human beings. I think Roe versus Wade led us there, and we should be led out of Roe versus Wade by those who know that there's a better way, that there's a better way to have the sensitivity that society really deserves to have, should have, and I believe we'll have in the future. Mr. President, I suggest the absence of a quorum.